First of all, we are lowering our standards. Our worship of Jehovah deserves full-length corrections. For example, do you remember the governing body comes over 200 times when we go to the Kingdom Hall or in the ministry?
Hey everyone, my name is Jake and welcome to Sunday Service. This is a weekly live stream where we talk about Jehovah's Witness stuff because I am an ex-Jehovah's Witness current new tattoo haver, and welcome to the show. I will show off my tattoo. We have some business to get to up top, but first, part of that business is please subscribe to the Sunday Service YouTube channel, because that is where this video is going to live after this stream. I'm going to, private it on the main channel, and then you can watch the playback on the Sunday Service channel. So, do that. I command thee. And anyway, we've got some stuff to discuss. First, let's see. Can I show a picture of my tattoo? Because I've got this like Tagaderm stuff on it, so it just looks smeary and you can't really tell what it is. So I'm trying to see but while I'm doing that, I have something important to get to first, which is that we have a guest to talk about some new adjustments to the beard, dress, and slacks policies to Jehovah's Witnesses, and we're going to continue talking about this year's Circuit Assembly, which is, I believe, ongoing, but we've got some segments of that we're going to talk about, and if you didn't see last week's, don't worry, it doesn't matter. The assembly is very boring and weird, so you don't need any context, but you should go back and watch it, because I think it was a really funny show. Thank you for all of the compliments on my hair. But you know who has even better hair is our guest today, Mr. exJW Caleb himself, Danny.
What? Welcome to Sunday Service, everybody. I am exJW Caleb, and I don't want to talk about anything but your tattoo, Jake. I forgot to ask you, wasn't that like super painful? Because I got this line, line, and I was wincing after it. When I was done, I was shaking, and I felt like I was gonna pass out. Like it was the worst pain ever.
Yes, it was. It was the worst pain ever. It really was. It was legitimately the worst pain of all time. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Wait, what the fuck? It's Jesse's tattoo from Breaking Bad, because, quite frankly, I just always thought it looked cool. So that's what's going on. When this tape comes off, that is what it's gonna look like. Oh yeah, and Christina has one too. And she just yelled at me, show mine! So now I have to show Christina's as well. It's pretty cool. Let me stop sharing this. This is why this is moving to a different channel, because not everybody's interested in this kind of content. But look at this. She got the little birds. Nice. She got them little birds. Nice. It's awesome.
How long did it take, like, your tattoo, though? Because did you get lidocaine or no? Or did you raw dog it?
Did I get what?
Lidocaine. You know, like the...
I thought you said little kid. I was like, what?
Yeah, did you get a little kid to
I did feel like a little kid because I was screaming in pain. No, it was legitimately like... The instant it started, I was like, this is a huge mistake. This is the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. And it continued for, I think, 90 minutes, I think. But I'm not exactly sure. Christina is way more hardcore than me. She didn't make a sound the entire time. I, of course, was manically talking to the person and describing my YouTube channel just to take the edge off. But that's not what this stream is about 4 minutes in. And in fact, you've got a video about this subject, so we're not going to dwell on it too long, but there's been some adjustments, some changes. Yeah, little Kate. That's what I heard. Okay, people, Christina, just so you know, everyone's saying your tattoo is super cool. She says cool.
I haven't seen that.
In return. Okay, so there are a few, was it just last month or 2 months ago? I don't remember. Several months ago.
2 months ago.
Yeah, a couple months ago, there were some adjustments to Jehovah's Witness dress and grooming policy. That's what they call it. And that now they are doing the next part of what happens whenever they announce new light, which is all the clarifications that kind of walks back some of the exciting new possibilities the previous update seems to bring up. So I want to talk about this. You talked about it on your channel, Danny. So before we get into this, I'm going to find the spot where he starts talking about this. What were your reactions to this?
I think it was pretty obvious. I think it was almost expected. But as I was telling you before we started, I think this changes the meta, like the general feeling of the meta of the Jehovah's Witnesses. Whereas before they had been getting pretty much like update after update, giving them new liberties, even if they were cosmetic, right? There were pretty new liberties that they hadn't had like in the last 100 years, right? And now there comes this update being like, hey, guess what? We're done. Like all of the stuff, all of the fun stuff, all of the fun stuff, it's over. And actually, we're here to remind you that we are a cult, and we are still very, very, very much into regulating what you are going to wear. The fact that we allowed you to wear pants, or maybe not suits, or maybe not ties, that is just because everybody looked ridiculous like that. We were the last people to dress like that. So it's not because we're getting permissive. It's because, we look ridiculous before. Like it's literally, we're the last people who still wear this, and we don't want to wear this anymore because we don't want this to become the Jehovah's Witness costume, basically.
that is and if it sounds like Danny's over exaggerating, he does literally say basically that word for word. Yeah, they gave JW some freedom. They do have to take back some of it, or it wouldn't be a call. Exactly. Also, I want to shout out Maria.
Cosmetic freedom. They didn't. They weren't. Even if they were like, you know what, we're not even gonna regulate what you're gonna wear anymore. You can wear whatever you want. Just wear formal wear to the meetings because Jehovah important or whatever, right? Even then, like it would still be the same amount of a cult. That was the fact that they regulate the dress and grooming is not what defines them as a cult. It's just a cosmetic thing that on top of it, just cultish rhetoric, just like to put like as frosting, but it's not the proper like why it is. It is.
It's like the fondant. It is like it's an ingredient, but it's kind of an optional ingredient. I agree.
Exactly. Oh. Some cults do it. Some other cults are like, actually, this actually tastes like Play-Doh, so we're not gonna do it.
Elliot Larson says cult sprinkles. Exactly. So I wanted to shout out this comment from Maria. Love the tattoos. I have many, many tattoos. So looking forward to going to the Kingdom Hall this week for my dad's funeral. I'm gonna sit at the front too. Hell yeah! It really is like it when somebody with tattoos or piercings that are not just on the ear, or if you're a guy with piercings, it's like walking into the Kingdom Hall, it's like you might as well be wearing a full costume from the Renaissance Fair or something. Like it's just like, wow, a freak came in. Look at this person with tattoos. Even though obviously the existence of tattoos long predates Jehovah's Witnesses, but that's not important. Okay,
I mean, long predates the existence of Jehovah.
Well, that's a great point.
That is just an extra wrinkle in that.
Truly the OG.
Lose, the Christian viewers so early in the live stream. So right now,
that's a great point. Now, I also want to say we're gonna watch this, but this is a smart channel for thinking people. So I have some relevant quotes from Crisis of Conscience that I think apply to this little bit today. So we're going to watch a little bit of this, and actually we can do our favorite thing, which is to speed up. Subtitles on. I can't see without my subtitles. Okay, here we go. Recently. Oh, and by the way, thank you to everyone who watched my newest video about how the governing body loves you very much. If you haven't seen it, it's you should watch it, but don't worry, the tradition continues in this. We get another We Love You Very Much with a little twist, so I'm excited to get to that.
We've had updates about dress and grooming. We've talked about beards for brothers, slacks for sisters, and the use of jackets and ties for brothers. We're thankful that Jehovah trusts us in these matters.
The good book, truly.
But some questions come up. First of all, do these adjustments about dress and grooming mean that we are lowering our standards? Not at all. Our worship of Jehovah deserves our deep respect and honor. These adjustments should not dilute the depth of our appreciation for serving Jehovah. More so...
Just for the record, I tried to make a YouTube poop where it's like, it does not dilute our cum or something, but I couldn't, I didn't have enough time. I didn't have enough time to figure that out, but I just wanted to go on record. If anybody else wants to try that, I think there's potential there.
So, it's a recognition that styles change over time, and that what's considered acceptable, dignified dress for certain occasions also changes over time. For example, do you remember these images from the 2023 Governing Body Update number 8?
I love immediately that he's just like, okay, do you remember just literally word for word what we said in the previous video? Let me just repeat everything we said.
Yeah, do you remember the last video that we gave? Like, it's not even,
remember?
Hey, let's check on the Bible. Let's check this quote. No, let's check this quotes from the last thing you just saw.
Remember the pictures from the video?
Jesus.
Yes, it's very silly. I just took a shower.
Though?
And there's water in my tattoo tegaderm stuff, and I'm trying to deal with that. Sorry, a lot going on.
Do you believe
still
him?
dress as people did in Bible?
Do I believe him?
Yeah, do you believe him when he says that this isn't about making anything less formal, or do you think this is about a castrolification of it? Because I personally don't think that this, like, I actually
did you say castroification?
No, casualification. It's also a made-up word, but
wow,
extra made-up word. Yeah,
okay.
Because I feel like Jehovah's Witnesses are becoming like far more casual nowadays. So I feel like,
okay,
yeah,
yes.
So is this part of that, or is he right? And this doesn't, they're still as formal as ever.
I think that they want to get people in the door with as few hoops as possible. I think they want to make it easier for people to join and give less reasons for people to not join. And one of the things that genuinely does kind of intimidate people, I remember from studying with a few folks back in the day, is like, not everybody has a fucking suit and tie. Like, not everybody even has that kind of stuff. And it is a little intimidating to think like, yeah. So I think like they want to, like most churches, you can just wear khakis and a button-down shirt, and nobody's like, whoa, that's not appropriate for God. And yeah, so I think that they just want to be like, if you just want to come to the Kingdom Hall, you can wear whatever. But of course, as soon as you're baptized, you're going to be encouraged to reach out for responsibilities and privileges. And as we're going to find out, and as it talks about in that leaked elders letter for this month, like, you still have to wear a tie and a jacket 99% of the time if you're going to be on stage. So I think they just want it to be a little easier for people to come into the Kingdom Hall. That's my take, but people tell us in chat.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think it's just like they want to be as formal now as they were 50 years ago. Because 50 years ago, when not in 50 years ago, like 80 years ago, when they came up with these rules, everybody wore suits and ties for everything, right? So they're like, yeah, no, you have to wear suits and ties now. Now, everybody is like, I don't know, like wearing, like you said, just khakis and a button-down shirt, and that's formal enough. Whereas before, you needed to wear a suit and tie to be at that level of formality. So I feel like they just want to remain at the same level of formality that they've been like over, and they've been overdoing it for like too long. Whereas the world has been like becoming more casual. So the more casual the world becomes, the more the Jehovah's Witnesses overdo it. So they're like counteracting that a little bit with these. That's my theory, but I don't know. I mean, this is a cult, and as we said, this is a cosmetic thing. Even like this isn't what makes it a cult or something, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yes, exactly. So he repeats the same bullshit about how, like, okay, times change. We're not expected to wear the same things they were in Bible times, which, you know, I just don't understand the entire concept of why God needs you to wear certain clothes to love you, considering he created man and woman to be naked to begin with. So
God is a fashionista, Jake. You know
he
that.
Is.
He can't see you in like last century's garments. You need to be updated.
That's right. He does want you to keep up with the times 10 years ago. He wants you to keep up with the times on a delay.
Don't keep up with the times too fast. Okay.
Yes, keep up with the times.
Just keep
slowly.
Keep up with the times. Yeah, keep up with the times. Where just so you make sure that you dress in the most boring way possible. You know, because dressing like this, like in just like a button down and whatever, that was like very cool. Like maybe 50 years ago, that was like a sportsy look. Not anymore. Once it stops, like once it's like very boring and only old people wear it, that is like the sweet spot for Jehovah's Witnesses. But then afterwards, like that, then nobody wears it. So you can't wear that shit anymore. You just have to wear it while it's still boring.
Man, I'm just devastated because apparently people are trying to send super chats and they're saying it's not working, and that's tough. It's a tough situation for me right now. I don't know.
Listen,
people have done
they
it
can send money to my PayPal, and
I don't think that works either. I don't think that's also broken.
What's considered respectable and dignified dress and grooming changes over time. The adjustments announced in recent updates acknowledge that. Another question that arises with this new direction is, how do we make sure that we still dignify Jehovah and his worship when it comes to beards,
his
slacks,
worship,
and not wearing ties?
How can my beard dignify God? We know that you're wondering that.
How can whenever I pick, like whenever I check an outfit and I look at myself at the mirror, that is what I'm looking for. I'm like, how does this glorify Jehovah? Will Jehovah dig my fit?
Well, yes, exactly.
Jehovah, nobody else.
Oh, Alt Wifey, which is my wifey, by the way, says, I knew a lot of brothers who would take their Bible studies thrifting to find a suit and tie when they got to the point of meetings regularly. Like, that's nice, but also why? Yeah. We were talking a few weeks ago about, like, this disabled person who had to change their outfits. Anyway, we looked at another experience that ended up being, I think, slightly ableist. Not slightly, it just totally was, because of all these needless, arbitrary rules about just what it takes to attend the meeting. But anyway, let's keep going with this.
As is the case with all dress and grooming, there are a variety of styles. Let's consider 3 principles from God's Word. You know these principles, and you love Jehovah. We know that they are important to you.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
We know that.
I want to ask you something. Is what Jeff is doing gaslighting?
Is what he's doing gaslighting?
Yes.
Okay, wait, what is he doing? He said, you know these principles and you love Jehovah. You give me your theory on this. I don't know.
I think, look, don't be how do you call it when you're not neither hot nor cold?
Lukewarm?
Yeah, don't be lukewarm or I'll spit you out of my mouth like Jehovah does. give me your no. Look, I think this is gaslighting because I like some people. I call it gaslighting in my video, and I think gaslighting is when you're like, listen, what you feel isn't right unless it's my version. Like my version of what you are supposed to feel is the only version that is correct. Therefore, you are wrong by feeling or perceiving the world in the way that you perceive it, unless it is my way of perceiving it, the way that I'm going to impose to you. That, I think that's gaslighting. Some people are like, oh, no, that's not gaslighting. So I'm like, I don't know. Like, guys, in the chat, is this gaslighting? I think it's gaslighting. But
I don't think it's the right word for it, because I think gaslighting is when you're trying to convince someone that they're crazy. And this is more like, we are telling you what you believe already. And I don't know what the word for that is, but But, just on principle, Danny, I'm going to assume that you're wrong so that I can be the, devil's advocate for the fine people in chat. No, I actually don't know. What you know is wrong. Okay.
Exactly. I think if you're telling somebody you feel like this, that implicitly is saying if you don't feel like this, you're wrong and crazy, right? I feel like that is an implicit action. So it's like advanced gaslighting for me.
Not average everyday gaslighting.
It's in it. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, we can call it a different way. It's just, like you say, like, if it's not gaslighting, then how do I call it? Because it's obviously like
manipulation.
A manipulation tactic, right? But like, what
not everything is
gaslighting?
gaslighting. I think you're fucking crazy. I think you're insane. I think you made up the term gaslighting. I've never even heard of it before. You're crazy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, man, that's
gaslighting.
I am crazy, I think.
No. Okay. You know these principles and you love Jehovah. Weird.
And you love Jehovah. we know that they are important to you.
Right,
so let's see how
everybody?
these verses can guide us when making decisions about our
Yeah,
trust
yeah,
in
yeah.
you.
Okay. This is where we get to my favorite
let's consider
part.
1 Timothy 2, 9 and 10.
They're
It
not
reads,
actually, by the
"Likewise,
way,
women should adorn themselves
they're not
with
actually going to
fragrance, with
read,
modesty
like, this
and
scripture
sound
is not
style,
important.
not with styles of hair braiding and
Because
gold or
obviously it says
pearls
nothing
or
about
expensive
beards or
clothing,
slacks.
but in the way that is
No,
proper
this
for
is
women
literally
professing
about,
devotion to
hey,
God,
don't wear
namely
a lot
for
of
good works.
expensive shit. Don't
From what we
flex on
read in these
people who are
verses,
broke.
what should
That's what
characterize
this
our
verse
dress
is
and
saying.
The world may choose clothing simply based on what's most comfortable.
Simply
But as
based.
Christians, we have other things to consider. We profess devotion to God.
Yeah, okay.
As Christian men and
Weirdo.
women, we want our dress and grooming to glorify Jehovah.
How would that... Okay, so listen, what he wants to do is do this. Because the scripture doesn't back up what he's saying. So what they do is they go to the study notes, which they wrote. The Watchtower Writing Department added this study notes to their translation of the Bible. So they're just doing another thing where they cite themselves. Like, obviously, Jehovah's Witnesses would write a definition of appropriate that fits their definition of appropriate. They're not, like, going to the fucking Greek or whatever. So they're just like, let's cite the encyclopedia that we wrote.
Yeah, because in First of Timothy, this verse, modesty is about not showing off wealth. But Jehovah's Witnesses, modesty is about not wearing shit that's too tight or sexy. Like they are completely different versions of modesty. So they're like, oh, modesty can mean both things, and if anything, it should mean what we say it means. Like if this means don't wear dresses that are too tight, especially if you're a curvy woman, that is what a whore does. That's what Jehovah's Witnesses want to get to, which is what he gets to.
He does, yeah, he does get to that. Hey, thanks to Witness Underground, by the way. If this is the Witness Underground, I believe they are an upcoming guest on the channel. So shout out to that fact.
And proper.
Of future programming.
Such attire would be suitable for one who professes.
Okay, yeah.
Subscribe, you say,
so
people don't miss it.
Well, of course, yeah, so they should subscribe to both things. Subscribe to the Sunday service and to me, and also to my Patreon, and subscribe to the local newspaper.
They should also leave a like, I think.
They should they should comment. They should subscribe to HBO Max. I don't know. People should subscribe to everything, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Page? Okay, fine. That's okay. We can keep going.
No, you're fine. Okay, what I like about this is that it's an incoherent definition. It basically just means, like, we'll tell you what's proper. The governing body was like, because they're like, such attire would be suitable for one who professes to be a minister of God. But obviously the governing body gets to decide that. They get to decide what's suitable for one who professes to be a minister of God. So it's like this circular reasoning.
Exactly. What is suitable? Well, it's what's appropriate. And what's appropriate? Well, what's suitable,
Yeah.
It's a circular definition. It doesn't tell you
And we'll
anything.
tell you.
It's just... Yeah, it's just listen to us. Like, we know what appropriate and suitable is. So for those definitions, watch our broadcasting.
Yes, precisely.
Minister of God.
Professes to be.
If our clothes are revealing or tight, would that be appropriate, honorable, or proper?
Yes.
Would that be suitable to wear when worshiping Jehovah?
Yes.
I'm sure you would agree that it would not be appropriate.
You're wrong. I don't agree.
That means that we need to carefully evaluate what we will wear.
No.
Especially when we are worshiping Jehovah.
No.
If our clothes are casual.
That's my commentary. I'm like,
I need it.
This is so frustrating. It just is like, God created your body. Why wouldn't he want to see it? They made him naked. Show off your body.
But then we became imperfect, and God doesn't like our dicks when they're imperfect. He likes them only... the genitals only look good the way Jehovah did them. But now that we're imperfect, they kind of look ugly. That's why,
That would be crazy.
People will agree with me. Genitals are usually ugly. And Jehovah agrees as well, very clearly.
Stay tuned tomorrow where I have a video about all the theories I had about paradise. That's a good one. What is the original perfection genitalia that God intended? Because obviously we're distant now. We're so separated from God's love and his intention.
Have, larger genitalia or smaller genitalia? Which one would be,
Right. What if God did want me to have a tiny penis, and that is actually perfect?
I think I'm closer to perfection, if anything.
I agree. I think we're all in agreement about what perfection is. Okay, so this idea, anyway, this is kind of incoherent. Like, why would God... I always think of the interpretation of Jesus. Jesus is a carpenter, and like the lesson learned at the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where they're searching for the Holy Grail, and so they go to this this temple, this guy who's running this test for people who come to seek the Holy Grail, and it's all of these ornate, incredible looking grails. And the actual correct one, you have to pick what is the actual Holy Grail. And of course, the actual one is the cup of a carpenter. It's just a simple cup, just that was made probably by Jesus in his carpentry office that he had for a while.
How carpenters always make cups. That's what they do.
Right. Like the lesson was the actual Jesus was not gaudy, right? But the idea that Jehovah's Witnesses have is like, no, you have to wear a suit and a tie and things that are like that denote status in the year of our Lord 2022.
You're right. Jehovah's Witnesses
would
have not passed that Indiana Jones movie, like that Indiana Jones trial. They would have failed completely.
We loved that as Jehovah's Witnesses as a kid, because they say Jehovah. They're like, but in Hebrew, Jehovah spelled with an I, and we're like, whoa!
Oh, Jehovah! That's the holy word.
And that's why we knew that Steven Spielberg and George Lucas would be resurrected in the new system, because they got the name Jehovah out there.
Maybe even Harrison Ford.
And maybe even Harrison Ford would be resurrected. And, you never know about Sean Connery.
His heart is clearly in the right place.
What?
I mean, that's what Jehovah's Witnesses would say. I'm just being a Jehovah's Witness here.
Oh, I see. I was like, wait a minute.
Jehovah's Witnesses also hate like everybody who's not a Jehovah. Oh my God. Somebody is going to like clip that and try to cancel.
Wow. Clip it. Flag exJW Caleb channel. No, I think that
being
Indiana Jones hated Nazis
hasn't been as hot as it is right now. It hasn't been as hot for like 100 years as it is right now. Let me tell you.
That's true. Danny doesn't have air conditioning. It's very hot where he is. Yes. I feel like my camera is lagging a little bit. I think it might be because I have so many things open on my computer.
You do have AC.
And it might be the AC kind of running down the internet a little bit.
Casual. Would that be appropriate for us to wear when worshiping Jehovah at the meetings or when in the ministry? Well, no, that wouldn't be appropriate. Of course, I'm sure you would agree that what's considered appropriate also depends on the occasion. For example, there are clothes that are appropriate for when we go to the beach or on a picnic. And there are clothes that are appropriate for when we attend a wedding. And there are also clothes that are appropriate for when we go to worship at the Kingdom Hall or in the ministry. What's the point? All those styles change over time. It's good for us to recognize that there are different levels of dress that should be decided based on the occasion. That's an idea we all want to keep in mind.
This is so infantilizing and stupid. And honestly, fuck this. It's so stupid. But like at the very end, he says something interesting. So
he's basically saying, guys, I mean, we would all agree that you would not want to wear a bikini to the meetings, right? Let's just put that as a rule out there because you guys are idiots. It's just that's how it feels to me. It's so infantilizing and infuriating. I feel like if somebody talked to me like this at work or something, I'd be like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Just talk to me like a normal person. Like, what's the problem? Like I take it personally, I feel.
Yes. By the way, I think I got some super chats that I didn't talk about, so QC Man, their super chat button's working. Simply Lore, their button's working. Witness Underground, we did talk about. And then Maria, thank you. I can guarantee you appropriate doesn't mean the same depending on what culture defines it as. Spanish circuits are fashion shows compared to French. I didn't know that about the French. It's a little disappointing to learn. But that, and this is the issue that they have, is that, like, yes, fashion, dress, and grooming is all different all over the world. But this, I think, they don't care about that. They care about the West, their Bethel culture, Bethel dress and grooming. Yes. And so let's hear how he ends this.
We're reminded that our dress and grooming should not reflect a love of the world. Styles change over the years, and there are a wide variety of styles that are not offensive to most people.
That is completely arbitrary. You don't know. You literally don't know that tight clothes are offensive to most people. You don't know that. What, did you read a fucking study?
No. He said most
not.
People, because every single person he knows is offended by tight clothes. So, saying most people is being generous.
Yes. The self-selecting sample size, if I can alliterate.
Every person he's asked hates that stuff. Every single person, unless they're evil. So,
Yes, exactly. He's like, hey, everyone I know hates tight clothing, so I don't know. And then he says this thing that I think is very interesting.
Our publications have often stated that we should not be the first to adopt a new style or the last to abandon an old one.
That's just like a business strategy. That just means like our strategy for marketing is that we don't want to like adopt a new style to throw people off, but we also don't want to seem too old-fashioned. But it's not like a biblical principle.
No, and as I've said, they are the first one, the last ones to abandon a thing. They are the last ones that still wear a tie to religious events. Show me another person, like another religious group that still wear ties to religious events. Nobody. They're the last ones.
Wrong. Seventh-day Adventists.
The last ones to leave. Well, yes, but no one cares. I wanted to do a rant, and you just, oh man, fine. They are not last because the Seventh-day Adventists still exist.
I just have to ruin.
You completely
things.
deflated me.
It's my favorite thing to do is to ruin a great point that somebody is making by being pedantic and nitpicky. But
if it was ruined that fast.
No, but you see, I think that this is the thing is like I get my pedantic nitpicky culture from Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm like, no, that's not technically right. So I don't know. I think this basically says it, but there's a couple quotes like this whole thing reminded me of this chapter in this segment in Crisis of Conscience, which if you don't know is written by Raymond Franz, who was a governing body member and left, is still kind of the best inside look at the religion and especially the governing body. And one of the things he goes into in great detail is that they, like most of the governing body meetings, are just deciding arbitrarily based on personal opinion and watchtower tradition what is a disfellowshipping matter, what gets people in trouble. But they would have an issue. They would change something, and then a bunch of questions would come in, So there were a couple of things that stood out to me that like reminded me of this situation. Okay. The scriptures being silent, human reasoning supplied the answer, he said. Generally, in discussion of this type, if any appeal was made to Scripture by those favoring condemnation of the act or conduct, that appeal was to very broad statements such as, "You are no part of the world," found at John chapter 15, verse 19. If a governing body member personally scrupled against the action or conduct under discussion and could think of no other argument against it, often he would fall back on this text, extending it and applying it to fit whatever the circumstances were. The need to let the rest of Scripture define what such a broad statement means and how it applies often seemed to be considered unnecessary or irrelevant. So that was interesting.
Yeah, can you quote the chapter and the page again, just for anybody who wants to like?
Oh yeah, okay.
I know
so
that
people,
love to double check this stuff, which is great.
Yes, that's from page 135, and then on 139 we were talking before we started recording, Danny. Of Crisis of Conscience, he says a couple of things that strike us as true about this. This view that what is good for the organization is what is good for the people in it, and that the interests of the individuals are, in effect, expendable when the interests of the large organization appear to require it, seem to be accepted as valid positions by many members. In one such case, Milton Henschel seriously urged caution, making the point that if we let the brothers do this, there is no telling how far they will go. And he concludes on page 140, "We suspected our brothers of lacking true love of righteousness, of inwardly wanting to sin, and being held in check only by organizational regulations." So, this is their entire, entire thing. We have to be this nitpicky and pedantic. Otherwise, people are going to show up wearing cartoon stripper clothes to the meeting.
Yeah, and this is doesn't this capture
Stripper
perfectly
clothes.
how Jehovah's Witnesses? Yeah,
I don't know that.
How Jehovah's Witnesses leadership see the members of Jehovah's Witnesses, and how Jehovah's Witnesses see rules. They're like, no, rules have to be like this because we actually do want to sin. I've heard that being like, oh, like when I talk to Jehovah's Witnesses about this fellowshipping, then they'll be like, then what would stop anybody from sinning? And I'll be like, I don't know, like just you don't like, I don't sin not because I'm afraid of this fellowshipping, but because I know something's wrong and I don't want to do it, right? Like those are the sins that I don't do at all. Like I've never killed anybody, not because I'm afraid of getting caught by the police or getting this fellowship, but because I don't want to do that. That's a bad thing to do.
Yes,
but that's not
exactly.
how Jehovah's Witnesses see, like the leadership see Jehovah's Witnesses. They see them as no. We need to remain a high control group because these people are idiots.
It's like the way that cops are like trained to be like, we are the only thing between society and anarchy. That's how important you are. And like that's how they view themselves, as like this thing will just descend into absolute chaos if not for us telling people exactly how tight their pants can be. Anyway, I think we got it. So the new deal is they're basically just like, hey, actually, just to be safe, kind of just dress like you did before. Let's not go too crazy. If you have any privileges, just don't even change what you were doing. Okay.
Yeah, but this is it does feel like they're like kind of backtracking a little bit. But do you feel like they're backtracking, or do you feel like this is a correction needed? I don't know. I did ask the question, and I did throw like backtracking in my video, but I'm not sure if this is backtracking or if this was always going to happen.
I think it is what's always going to happen. I think it's mostly about optics and the thing of like, see, look how loving and reasonable we're being. And then they get to do this thing, whether or not they foresee this calamity or not ahead of time. It's like they get to then kind of rein like get people's expectations back in check. I don't know if it's like an intentional strategy, but it works to their advantage because they get to get that feeling from the members of like, ooh, we're making progress, we're changing, things are good, and we're being more normal.
Fresh and new.
Yeah. Damn it, my camera is being laggy again. Well, what are you gonna do? Hey, thanks the governor. Want to son me? Now you're just being silly. Oh, sin. The governor, I appreciate the super chat, but get your shit together. That didn't make any sense. No, okay.
I don't know. You tried to make it make sense by doing a funny accent, and even then you're like, I don't know if I can pull this off.
I assumed it was Cockney British slang. Oh, wait, shit. I forgot to show the best part. I did forget to show the best part. Okay, hang on a second, because...
Oh, yes.
In honor of the governing body, love you very much, supercut that I did, they end it on a similar note. Okay, let me get back to this real quick.
And aren't we grateful that Jehovah has given us these principles in his word?
Yeah, we love that.
It's
so
much. Good to review them to a friend for honest comments.
Stop it.
Headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses. This is JW Broadcasting.
Oh wait, I skipped past it.
We love these principles. Brothers and sisters, we love and respect you very much.
And respect, you see. It's not... I know that seemed like we just were treating you like babies, but we respect you, sweetie.
Oh my God, so stupid. It's so
sweaty.
Stupid. It's so stupid. After giving you, like, talking down on you on what is, what is good for you to wear, they're like, we respect you, though. No, you don't. No, you don't. You respect their people, then you let them wear whatever they want to wear, whatever they feel is the most formal, the most appropriate for the church. I mean, it's their decision. It's their relationship with God. They're not affecting literally anybody else. No, this isn't respect. This is control. Like you can't respect somebody and be like, oh no, you can't wear that shit, like because I don't approve that. No, that's not respect.
Yeah, you can't be trusted. You can't be trusted to pick out your pants for Sunday.
Exactly.
Okay, let's look at the assembly. We're moving on to the Circus assembly. Part 2, and Danny selected these clips. This is from the afternoon session. We talked about the morning before. But basically, if you've never seen an assembly before, it is just a series of Jehovah's Witness talks.
It is just around boring. A theme. That's what it is. If
and a lot of times it's just boring.
Picture boredom, and then that boredom extends the whole day, and then add uncomfort from wearing a suit and sitting in uncomfortable chairs for like 14 hours. That is an assembly. That is an assembly. You got the picture.
Yes. This is a good question. Do they deeply respect us? And I meant to say this earlier, but I also love the light behind you. It looks really cool.
Thank you. It's literally just like this cheap light from AliExpress. You can buy it. I think it's like $5 or something, and you can also make your.
I will. I need something
like
going on in my background. All right,
This
here we
reminds
go.
me of an
Whoa! It just immediately starts.
I just put together all of the clips and then made them a little bit faster, like 25% faster. So this is just like a 15 minute compilation of like all of the clips that were worth watching in like the 4-hour long session of the afternoon. It's so boring and there's nothing in it.
You know what we were doing, Danny? We were digging for spiritual gems. We were digging for content gems.
Yes, that's where we're. You know what? I've never studied an assembly so bad as I do regularly as an apostate. Like I feel like now I even remember shit now from assemblies. I never remember stuff from assemblies.
It does unlock some memories sometimes. You're like, oh my god, I just remembered an assembly from when I was like 11 years old. All right, well let's see what we got here. I used to sleep on the floor as a kid at the assembly. My dad could fall asleep sitting up holding his Bible and no one knew. I remember that, sleeping as a little kid, like kind of, in the aisle. Not in the aisle.
The chairs.
Yes. I tried to, okay, I'll get to that later. Anyway, you were promoting yourself in the comments, exJW Pomo Fest.
And this reminds me of an experience the brother named Jose Isa told by Brother Jackson of the governing body. See, in 1968, Jose received the truth. And at that time, he was married and had 6 children. His wife and children were very strict Catholics. They did not accept the truth at all. In fact, they burned some of Jose's books. They would not accept him having a Bible study with them in his home. But the only thing that Jose could do was to say a prayer at mealtime. And
okay, I need to stop this. I hate these stories so much.
Yes, these made up stories of restrictive Catholic parents that somehow end up being less restrictive than Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yes, like the real opposition that people face is not from Jehovah's Witnesses when they try to leave, but it's Catholics when people try to leave Catholicism. Those people go crazy. They'll burn your books. And like he said when he set this up, like, I remember this example that we heard from Brother Jackson? Like he's referencing something that he heard from somebody else. Like this is a fish story. Who even knows if this is true? Like in the original version where the book's lit on fire, it just seems like every time you tell it, it gets more extreme.
Yeah, you have to add some flavor, obviously, every time you tell it.
Next time it's like, in the Catholic, they threw the Bible teach book in a deep fryer, and then they slit their wrists and bled onto the page and did a satanic ceremony. Like, it's just going to get more ridiculous. But I just, this is gaslighting, saying they did not accept the truth at all. It's like, they just didn't believe you. They weren't rejecting the truth. They were rejecting your religion because they didn't believe that it's the truth. That's kind of like, but just the language makes people sound insane. Like, wow.
So basically what Jeffrey Winter said, right? Like, it's the same? The gaslighting, the same?
It's very different what I'm saying. It's totally different. What I'm saying is correct.
All right. Let's move on then. Like, it's the same. Let's move on.
I'm totally kidding. Okay. No. You're right. It is gaslighting. Now that I'm hearing this, it is gaslighting.
Advanced gaslighting.
He used this opportunity, and this went on for 20 years. But
20
none of
years.
his family accepted the truth. And then, in 1988, Brother Jose died. His wife, children, and...
That's how old... So this is just an urban legend at this point. 88 is when the last time they had a relevant story about a witness being persecuted for becoming a witness.
Yeah, you think there's little evidence of, like, Jesus archaeologically? There's less evidence of this story.
It really is, yeah. There's less evidence of this than there is for, like, the Book of Acts and the events that occurred therein.
Grandchildren came to the funeral. After the funeral, they went back home. And as they were sitting there, the little granddaughter said this.
The
now
little
that grandfather
granddaughter
has died, who will pray for us? The whole family started crying.
Oh, wow. Did they cry because he died, maybe? Not because they realized Jehovah's
Guys.
Witnesses were the truth? Hi! Kitty!
Guys, hold on. I need to present you to Lucifer.
Lucy, the black cat.
He's a rescued cat. I've been meaning to present you guys to him to introduce you, because he's been living with us for like a couple of months now, and we're family now. But he's so shy. Like he was abused when he was like on the streets and stuff. He has a lot of scars. So yeah, he's very shy, but he's Lucifer. So
that's a good boy right there.
He's a good boy. Look at him.
If we are able to like ever afford a home, we want a black cat. We feel like we're missing from our collection. So I love it. Look, he's smiling. He's so happy.
Yeah, he's once he gets like in one of our arms, like one of us, he can fall asleep. But he took like 3 days to warm up to us. Like he was on a tree in the yard for 3 days because he was just very afraid.
Poor little guy. Our little Bo, who is behind me right now. You can see him under my armpit, right here.
Oh yes, I hadn't seen him.
Yeah, he's back there. Hey, buddy.
These are our pet break, because
cat corner. Oh, you can't even see his head because it's so bright. Yeah. He was abused as a little baby too, poor guy.
Oh, poor thing.
Who the hell is messing with these cats? It's fucked up. Probably this guy, by the way. Matching pocket square like a serial killer.
Crazy.
Demented unhinged behavior.
Oldest son, Carlos, stood up. He said, I will try to pray. And in that prayer, Carlos asked Jehovah God to forgive the family for not accepting the truth. And then Carlos said that he would worship Jehovah. And now 20 years have gone by, and 19 members of Jose's family are baptized. 10 more are studying. Carlos is an elder, and Diego is in the Ecuador, Bethel, working as a Bethelite. So brothers, do you not see the power of patience in this example? Notice.
I hated this because the implication is like, hey, even if you die, like, never let up. Never let your family off the hook for not being witnesses, because it could be that you die and they live, and then after you die they become witnesses, and then you get reunited in paradise. Like, God, it's just so annoying.
Yeah, this is they usually, before, if they had been like a little bit more like biblical, like they used to be, they would have been like, he's just like Job, who like lost their kids, but then they're all going to be reunited in Armageddon, the whole family. That's why he got like only the same amount of kids and not double, because he's gonna have double the amount in paradise. You know, they would have linked them to I feel like in our times, Jehovah's Witnesses would have linked this to the Bible, but now they're like, you know, it's story, sad story.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for the little connection of, I thought the same thing. Right? And I hate to do this again, but it's because I talk about that Job thing in the Paradise video, because that is just one of their favorite catchphrases about Job and all of his kids coming back. You did not find a plot hole in the Bible, sir. It's just that his other dead kids are going to come back later, way after Job himself died.
That was like the best proof of paradise for Jehovah's Witnesses, because Job gets double of everything. You know, the cattle, the wealth, all of that stuff, except the kids. He gets the same amount of kids. Why? Because he's gonna have double the kids in paradise. The actual fulfillment. That was actual good proof of paradise, because it's like the kind of like pseudo-intellectual reading of the Bible that seems to back up their arguments, that is just gone from Jehovah's Witness narrative. They don't do that shit anymore.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, amazing. I'm glad that you pulled this clip, because it is a quintessential, like, right from the factory Jehovah's Witness story.
Yes.
We've talked about talking about urban legends. This is this is kind of like that. Just those kinds of stories are kind of like that. But anyway,
yeah, but like we
continue.
were saying last live stream, in case anybody missed it, we were saying that, or I was maintaining my thesis that this is the average assembly. Like it feels like they really boiled all of the assemblies and then just average all of them out and
into OpenAI.
Yeah, exactly. Like it feels it. Oh my god, it really does feel like this assembly was written by AI, just trained on Jehovah's Witness assembly. Like it really feels like it's so unimaginative. There's absolutely nothing new. It's just the same narrative, but it's somehow worse. You know, there's bits missing of it. So it's even more boring and makes less sense, and it's even more impenetrable for somebody who's not a Jehovah's Witness, you know?
Yeah, for sure. All right, good shit. Let's continue with Dr. Eggman.
This experience with emotions in her voice. A 74-year-old Christian elder.
The emotions in her voice.
I often thank my wife and children for sticking with the truth during the years that I opposed them. He said for 3 years, he stubbornly refused even to allow his wife to speak to him about the Bible. But then he said, but she used psychology on me. He said,
the audience laughter. God damn it.
Oh yeah, check the psychology she used. I remember this bit.
What an admission.
Began witnessing to me as she rubbed my feet.
What?
He concluded how grateful I am that she did not give in to my opposition. Yes.
This is
guys. This guy had a foot fetish, and his wife.
It was good enough for Jesus.
This guy used the woman used the foot fetish to convert him, guys. Guys, it's from the platform, guys.
It was that you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It feels like, I don't know. Does it? Am I the only person that this story made them like feel icky? You know, like it's just.
Yes.
I don't know.
This is why they don't like recordings of like assemblies being online, because sometimes people just say something and it's like, I don't know if that should be canon, you know. I don't know if you want a Bible study here and that.
And also, the husband just had boundaries. That's it. That's boundaries. Like, it's just, hey, I don't want to talk about religious stuff with you. Like, just religious stuff. We don't talk about that stuff. That's boundaries. But obviously, the woman is like, oh, you want me to rub your feet and maybe give you a little bit of action? Well, guess what? You got to learn about Jehovah first. Yeah, the Tarantino of JW. Yeah, exactly. This is how you convert Tarantino into Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, what the hell?
Thank you to Kiara for a super chat, by the way. But you know what? It was good enough for Jesus. He liked to rub the feet of his favorite friends. So I think she was just following the example of the greatest teacher, who often taught while rubbing feet.
Listening to this made me feel icky. Like it made me feel icky when I listened to that. This assembly, like, it was just so boring. I was just so bored listening to it, and then I listened to, like, this bit came out, and I was like, oh,
a bolt from the blue.
It's very weird.
I know. That's why I went ham on that one guy last week, because I was so bored, and I was like, oh, this one guy's got some gold. I'm gonna go in.
Her patiently finding peaceful ways to share her belief has resulted in her husband becoming an elder in the Christian congregation, now on the road to life.
Even if my own father and mother abandon me, that's pretty serious, Jehovah himself will take me in. So he is ready to help the lonely. Absolutely ready.
Now I set aside this comment because I thought it was so good, and look at this. It's food at the proper time from Maria. I'm getting flashbacks of people on stage legit saying that they were on their own because their family didn't talk to them for being Jehovah's Witnesses, and other JWs would congratulate them on gaining a new family. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here, is this guy.
Man, yeah, that is true.
And who wouldn't want this guy to be their dad, you know?
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. What if he wakes up and then comes on the channel for an exclusive interview?
I wouldn't want him to be my dad as the current Jehovah's Witness he is. There you go. I fixed it.
That's a good point. I don't want any witnesses to be my dad.
Yeah. Another.
No, what's the direction? Our literature is full of direction. And we'll give you one example. The Watchtower.
Oh yeah, we really needed an example of how there's direction in the publications. Thank you.
June 2021. Pages 9 and 10, starting on paragraph 5. The subtitle, What You Can Do If You Feel Alone. Perfect. So let's look at some.
Perfect. Problem
There's so
solved.
much direction on how to combat loneliness in Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, for instance, what to do when you're alone. Isn't that what you wanted to know? The Jehovah's Witnesses have already solved it.
I think we
Perfect.
found the winner of chat so far, which is Soft Knocker says, "What did she rub for him to reach out to become an elder?" Good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh, stop! I was trying not to think about that stuff anymore.
What did this guy's wife rub for him to be given a talk on this assembly?
Some of the
Nothing
direction that
very
we can
clearly.
get from this article. It quotes some of the friends that have endured this very thing and some of the positive steps they've taken. Number one, focus
He's got
on
like full-blown Joey pouches under his eyes, by the way.
the blessings that Jehovah has already given you. You've made it this far, and Jehovah has supported you to get to this point. As it says at Psalms 55:22, you throw your burden on Jehovah,
Kind
and
of
never
does,
let the
actually.
righteous one fall. Think about how Jehovah has helped others that you know. This is going to give you some confidence. Maintain a good spiritual routine of study and meditation, meeting preparation. We've already heard that earlier today. Followed by attending meetings in person. Where are the friends at the meeting? That's where we build personal relationships.
Not
Feel
over
alone,
Zoom.
Go to the meetings. Exactly. Personally.
Yes.
Didn't you love how they added this bit? This bit was the only bit that wasn't added by ChatGPT. This was added by the governing body. You know,
Like, make sure to
they're
get that in
oh,
there.
Yeah, just make sure that any mentions to go into the meetings, you add like impress, like physically or something like that. Just add that bit over there, and then you're done.
Yeah, they are trying to kill Zoom. And it's just incredible that they talked about it as if Jehovah himself crafted Zoom,
Yes.
the app, out of like godly, tinkering devices that he had. And then after the pandemic, it's like, hey, stop it with this Zoom. I know it's a gift from Jehovah, but stop using that gift, please.
But they can't get them to stop because Jehovah's Witnesses love it. Like nobody likes going to the meetings. They like having this extra option of just putting on, like turning on their computer and then just turning off their camera and pretend that they're listening, like they usually do, but just in their homes.
That's exactly what it is. It's like I got fucking distracted because people are talking about feet and chat, and I just
stop looking
can't.
at chat because I'm like I can't keep thinking about that. Like, it's going to give me nightmares.
I cannot. Thank you, Sovnaga, for the super sticker. But I really am interested in this. This is another walking back thing. Like, oh my God, guys, holy shit! Jehovah himself gave us a new manna just dropped. It's called Zoom. It's perfect. It's a modern day miracle. And then 2 years later, it's like, stop doing that. We're not getting as much money as we used to, and it's a problem.
Yeah, you guys don't donate, and also people are just stopping to go to the meetings at all. Like they just start like going on Zooms with their cameras and then without their cameras, and then we stop seeing them. And we don't like that. We feel like that's just a way out.
It's crazy. Sorry, my brain just died. Chat's really popping off.
And as we build our relationships with our friends, don't just look at your own age group. Consider all ages. As Job said, the older ones are wise.
Wise.
In a few years, we're all going to be basically the same age, so why not start now?
I can't. Okay, well I don't know about that. We heard some laughter start to erupt, which is amazing. This guy looks like a guy in a rat costume in a like TV production of Alice in Wonderland, and I'm gonna try and find what I'm talking about.
Yes. He has weirdly enough, he has like rat-like features. Like I feel like he doesn't need that much to make him like a rat person, you know? Like, and I say that like rats are very cute. They're very smart. I don't hate rats. Rats are cute. Some rats are cute. This guy I don't know.
Exactly. Some rats are cute. and that's all that needs to be said on the matter. Now,
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's all I need to say.
there's somebody specific that I'm thinking about, because I may have an Alice in Wonderland script I've been sitting on for a long time, and I pulled this clip, but god damn it, I can't find it now. The 70s Alice in Wonderland is completely demented. But damn it, that's pretty scary. All right, I can find a bunch of the White Rabbit. As a rat American, I take exception to this comparison. Which
Which
rats have y'all seen?
And see how a young brother's doing.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yes.
I love this bit. It's so well acted.
Ooh, so this is a soliloquy, maybe?
Yes.
We need to explain soliloquies for any newcomers here. It's soliloquies.
So imagine you're bored, and then you're sitting down and you're uncomfortable. No, okay, no, explain soliloquy.
Oh, okay. So a soliloquy is like, it's just a monologue. They basically, truly a what are those shoes situation, by the way. Those do not match his outfit at all.
Yes. What the hell? Like the shoe game in the assembly was like out of control. It was horrible.
Do you want to know something? If he had a modern suit that was cut to his figure, they would look great, because the modern look is for the shoes to come in real tight at the ankle area. But those would look nice. It looks crazy because his pants are baggy.
Yeah,
God
because I mean,
it.
like you're totally right, because his suit is like even green, so the colors even go. They don't.
There's
go
a world where it
styles
works.
are totally wrong.
I know. This is what they're doing.
You're right. Yeah.
Look what they've taken from you. Look what we used to be a proper country.
Explain soliloquies.
Okay, soliloquies are just like a monologue. But no, what you need to understand about this, and I'll back it up for a second. Like, when there is a demonstration, like a little play on these assemblies, the script is provided word for word by Watchtower, the branch. It's like in the talk outline that they send the rat man who's talking. So in his outline, it's like, you're going to have to assign a brother in good standing to do this. And they send the script. And so this guy, it's probably going to be cringy, but it's important that we don't make fun of him.
Why are you being so generous?
Certainly not his suit fit or anything like that, because he's just saying what he was told. Okay. Anyway, man, those shoes are wrong. They're just wrong.
Yeah, and the suit is so boxy that it makes him look like an egg. It doesn't. It's not flattering. Like, suits are supposed to be basically flattering. I don't understand.
The theme of this convention is eggs.
Yes.
The egg convention.
It's Friday night, and Jim has just returned home from work. The house is empty. Jim has no plans for the weekend, and feelings of loneliness start to set in.
Wow, this is new, that he's like reading stage directions. That I have not seen before. Holy shit, thank you to Gwennifer for a $20 super sticker. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Gwennifer. So the guy's reading the stage directions, and then Boxy Suit has to sit down.
Out of habit, Jim takes out his phone to pass the time. He sees pictures posted on social media of some witness friends. They're all at a gathering. But he wasn't invited.
Oh my god.
What? I never get invited anywhere.
Just shoes, motherfucker.
Who needs them? I'm just gonna drink and relax.
Who needs them? I'll just have a drink and relax.
Yes, but also, like, he stopped and then he poses so you can see more of the shoe. This is him frozen. This is him frozen. This is the pose.
Yeah, it's because he's like, freeze!
Everything about this soliloquy is just awesome. Because parts of the soliloquy, obviously, like look, in a soliloquy, like in a Shakespearean fashion, the soliloquy was so the person could just explain everything that the person's feeling to the audience, like they're just thinking to themselves, right? But Jehovah's Witnesses are so bad at writing that they can't even do that right. The speaker has to be like, and then this happened, and blah, blah, blah. So the soliloquy has to literally pause for them to explain to you what's happening, even though the soliloquy is supposed to be a pause for you to know what's happening. It's just it's just very that. I
Yeah,
hate
this is
Jehovah's
like-
Witnesses.
Oh my God, how hateful
Not
and
Jehovah's
horrible.
Witnesses, the narrative, the
No,
way
I
that they write
understand.
things.
No, it's this is different because normally, like back in my day, what would have happened is this guy would have come out on stage and been like, "Well, got some time to myself. Let me look at my phone. Oh my God, I'm not invited to the get together. I'm gonna drink myself because I'm mad. I'm gonna drink myself because I'm mad." That's what it would have said. But I think that
That's how Jehovah's Witnesses say it.
yes, word for word. Witness Underground really gets it here. JW Soliloquy is only appropriate if the internal dialogue and conclusions result in called programming. Like, this is a demonstration of what your internal monologue is supposed to be like as a Jehovah's Witness. Like, when you face any situation, here's what the inside of your brain should be doing. Take a drink every time Danny says soliloquy. No deal. I won't do that. I would be dead. Okay, here we go. So he's freezing, so we can all gawk at whatever the hell is going on. Because the shirt, we got a nice clothes. His shirt and his tie, very modern.
His shirt, his tie, and his shoes are like a little bit modern and casual. His suit, used to belong to his grandpa. Like, it's just I don't understand.
Yes, his grandfather was like a boxy man, and they just were like, wear this. It's 3 sizes too big,
How people
which means
were
it's
like
perfect.
big and they used to look like fridges back in the day. That's
Yes.
You see any danger in Jim spending too much time alone? How can thoughts found in the Psalms help him to take positive
He might
action?
start masturbating to the people in the pictures.
Actually, I don't need a drink. What I need is to spend more time with my friends and less time on my phone. And it's not true that I never get invited anywhere. I just don't get invited as often as I'd like. I can't change the fact.
Oh, so that's interesting that in this scenario, it just happens to be true that he is invited places sometime. But what if you literally aren't? What if you literally aren't invited anywhere? What then?
No, it's just sometimes like you are invited to stuff. Like, are you going to tell me that nobody has invited you on a regular basis to go to preach with them? Because then they are wrong. Like, people shouldn't be inviting you to go out to preach with them all of the time. Whiskey and wanna wank.
It really is, by the way, kind of a game of red light, green light. This is just fascinating to me because they're always like, the solution to these is always so easy. It's always like, well, just think about the fact that you do get invited places. And it's like, well, what if you just fucking don't? I guess the lesson would be, well, you just don't get invited as much as you want. You want to be invited to something one time, and it just so happens you've been invited 0 times. And that's just how many times Jehovah wants you to be invited.
Yeah, I mean, you get invited to go to the construction of a new Kingdom Hall. I mean, you get invited to that. You can't get invited also to the movies. That's too much.
We invited you to build stuff for us for free. We invited you to be a parking attendant in the heat. We invited you to stand at a cart.
So many invitations as a Jehovah's Witness.
Yes. We invited you to stand at a cart all day on Saturday instead of doing anything fun. You didn't take us up on that. Oh, God. This is unbelievable.
The fact that I didn't get invited out tonight. But I can do something about tomorrow. I really need to pray.
I'm
What did Jim
sorry.
pray about?
Wow.
He can pour out his feelings. to
Don't
Jehovah.
you love that resolution?
I need to pray.
I need some praying. I need some praying right now. Oh Lord Jesus! Like it felt like a uni Jesus kind of moment, in the
Yes.
Jehovah's Witness narrative. It just
Yes, it really is. It's like, I need Jesus. I was almost about to have a sip of a drink by myself.
I was almost about to cope with my loneliness by cracking up one and maybe cranking up one, but no, I need Jesus.
Now, I'm trying to figure out what happened in the span of like 2 minutes for us to go from like 200 viewers to 170. Those 30 viewers. Do you think it was the shoes on this kid?
I think so.
I think it might have
don't
been.
know because I think
We don't
sometimes
assign the
people are-
outfits.
Listen, sometimes people are mad because we don't let the clips play for that long. But it's also if we let the clips play for that long, they're so boring. We need to cope with them somehow.
That's right. The show is us. Oh my God, so many more people are tuning out. Okay, sorry, I'll play the clip. I want you to like me, be my friend.
You can also ask Jehovah for the courage to talk with a mature Christian about his feelings of loneliness. And you can ask
What's
to
that
override
conversation
something
going to be
fun
like?
for someone else.
Brother,
Because
do you ever
it
get
is
lonely?
often the antidote to loneliness.
Oh.
Amen.
Talk to your invisible
I know
friend.
that
That'll
to
make you
have
feel
real
better.
friends, I need to be a real friend. Scott reminded me of that once. He shared a scripture that helps him when he feels alone.
Who's Scott?
I think
This
I
is-
tagged that verse. Here it is. Psalm 68:6. God
Wouldn't it
gives
be
those
funny?
who are alone
Scott
a
is
home.
the elder, like that's giving the speech right now.
People are saying that would be amazing. It's like, oh, he mentioned me. That's interesting. I'm going to rewind because
I gave you a good script. In your
people
soliloquy.
said that the volume's low, so I'm going to turn it back. It's perfectly fine for me, but I did turn it down a little bit so we could talk over it, but that apparently is not working. Here
that
we go.
once. He shared a scripture that helps him when he feels alone. I think I tagged that
Oh, wait, I didn't
verse.
get back to Scott.
Antidote to loneliness.
Amen. I know that to have real friends, I need to be a real friend. Scott reminded me of that once. He shared a scripture that helps him when he feels alone. I think I tagged that verse. Here
Oh,
it
he
is.
tagged the
Psalm
verse.
68:6. God gives those who are alone a home to
JW
dwell in.
app mention.
Scott told me that when he lost his wife, Jehovah gave him a home.
I saved it to my
Spiritual family,
favorites
genuine
tab on
friends.
JW Library.
He just needed to reach out to them. I'm going to call Scott and see if he has plans for service tomorrow. I think he'd appreciate having someone to work
He's
with.
at the
You
get together
probably
right now. He
noticed-
can't talk to you. Whoa, big
Anyway,
shift in
yeah,
energy.
I wanted, yes, yeah.
An immediate.
I wanted to end like this clip because this is so funny. Like, you feeling lonely, invite somebody to go on to service with you. Like, that's the solution here. But then the other dude, oh my god, the other dude just moves so much. Like, I feel like some people look, there's a lot of like homosexuals that are repressed by their religion, and sometimes those people are the one that are like that move a lot like me. You know, like I move a lot like a homosexual. I have everything. I'm
Who are
very
you
gay
telling?
except for the kind of genitals that I like. But like I move a lot like this, like
Yeah,
like a gay person, right? And I feel
Sure.
like this guy moves like well, you know, he has to
Yeah.
move his head and his whole body for like every syllable, and that's why I included it.
That's
Like,
all he has.
It's very funny. I'm
This
not
is-
gay. I just move. I just behave like a gay person. It's just I don't like penises. That's the only thing that I'm not gay about. Like just penises. That is the one thing that I don't like.
And that's the one thing that, as a member of the club, you got to be into that
Yeah,
part
unfortunately.
of it. That's key.
I identify
I don't make the
as,
rules.
as an asexual gay person. You know, as an asexual, aromantic gay person.
That's interesting.
Who is
You are
into
just-
who is a lesbian as well.
Okay, so you are. No, I'm not going to break this down. I'm not going to
No,
yes and this any further.
Don't. No, don't.
I agree
move
that
on.
Danny is protesting too much. He just screamed, "I'm not gay" out of nowhere. Like, wow, nobody was even asking about that, Danny. Well, okay, so let's get ready for this incredible transition to this guy doing a little dance.
I think he'd appreciate having someone to work with.
You've probably noticed that as people, we are really good at making
Hey.
mistakes.
Whoa!
In fact, one experienced anointed brother had this to say. He said, "For I know that in me there dwells nothing good. For I have the desire to do what is fine, but not the ability to carry it out."
What is he holding? What's he trying to hold on to so hard? Let
I
go,
don't
man.
know. Like, what are all of these movements? Is he speaking like in like? Is he adding like little like subtitles in hand gestures, like in some sort of sign language? I don't understand. They seem very specific, but very undecipherable as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Hey, you know what? It's true. We had a lot of people start rolling in as soon as you started talking about,
People
your
love talking
penis.
about it, whether or not I'm gay. That's why people tune in to your live stream.
I think so. I think, because there's always that chance that it's going to come up. Okay, so this guy has been working on like enthusiasm and gestures in the BE book, and it's just like gesture with my whole body. And he does. He's got fun mom energy, to quote John Mulaney.
Yes.
We recognize those words, don't we? As the Apostle Paul, as written at Romans chapter 7, verse 18. Now, if we commit a serious sin,
Oh,
part of righting the wrong is that we do need assistance from the congregation elders. Why? Well, the elders have been trained to use the scriptures to help us heal spiritually, especially during a time of spiritual recovery. And Jehovah gives them that training, that responsibility, and that authority, all to help his sheep. Note this clear scriptural direction. It's found for us at James chapter 5, verses 14 and 15.
It's very clear.
James chapter 5, verse 14 and 15.
There's so many Dr. Eggheads in this episode.
Let him call the elders of the congregation to him, and let them pray over him, applying oil to him in the name of Jehovah. And the prayer of faith will make the sick one well. And notice this. Well, before he says that, I feel like I know what he wants us to notice, which is how important the elders are. So this is kind of just like being like, hey, yeah, Jehovah does know what you did, but you need to go to the elders for you. It's not that we won't know if you don't tell on yourself. It's that it's good for you to do it.
Yeah, and what he quotes is a scripture that is like, hey, when someone has sinned or where they are sick, go to the elders so the elders can pour oil on you and so you get miraculously better. That is what he's reading. And he's like, so that's why if you masturbate a lot, you have to talk to the elders. Like, no, that's not
Speaking of
the
applying
verse.
oil. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Apply oil to that. And it's weird. There's a clip that I watched for that governing body montage that I did where they're like, the governing body poured themselves out like a drink offering. And it's like, why is the Bible like that? Why do they talk like that? That's a weird thing to say. Talking about pouring yourself out like a drink and applying oil to people. Well, it's not his fault.
It does say that Jehovah loves the smell of like a good sacrifice. So
yeah,
it's not like, a weakness thing that Jehovah likes. Jehovah just has like weird likes, like he has weird things that he likes.
It's not that the priest liked the smell, it's that God liked it. You're right. That I hadn't thought about that, but that's a very specific note in the Bible. It's like, do this, it smells good.
Yeah, do all of it because Jehovah likes how it smells. That is the reason that the Bible tells you. That the Bible gives you.
Oh, they're kinky. This is a kinky assembly. It's a kinky circus assembly.
And Jehovah will raise him up.
Oh!
Also, if he has committed sins, he will be forgiven. The fourth
bullshit.
The sins bit is like at the end. It's like, hey, if somebody's feeling sick or whatever, go to the elders so you get miraculously cured. And also, once you do that, also your sins get wiped, like as a bonus. And then this guy is like, so when you need your sins wiped and nothing else, you need to confess to the elders. And the elders will not give you any kind of oil, not even scented oils, not even like an extra virgin olive oil, no oils whatsoever.
I think he used, what's weird though, is he did use extra virgin olive oil for the birth of Christ.
Yes, well, of course. That is how he was born.
Oh no, my camera.
What happened?
Well, my camera. No, my camera just kind of died for some reason. It's saying it was unplugged, but that's a fucking lie. So I'm gonna refresh. I'll let this play, and you can.
Sure, play. I can play it as well.
All right, you do your thing. I'm gonna refresh my feed.
Reason we can serve Jehovah with joy, despite making mistakes on a regular basis, is that Jehovah provides mature Christian friends who can help us deal with negative feelings during our spiritual recovery. So here's a personal question. How do you view the elders in your congregation? Do you view them as your friends, or do you view them more as police who kind of police the congregation?
Do you view the elders as what they are, or the way that you're supposed to see them? Do you view them as the police state that they are? Do you view them as the ones that are in charge of putting you away if you do something wrong, which is what the police does? Or do you view them as their friends? You can tell them any of the sins that you've done wrong. How do you view them?
Now, if you feel more like the latter, the truth is that you don't have the correct view of the elder arrangement.
If you don't view the elders as somebody that you can confess everything you've done wrong to, so they can punish you like the police would do, then you are wrong. The issue is with you guys.
The truth is.
Also, guys, before Jake subscribes, just go subscribe to my channel. Go leave this live stream. This live stream is very unimportant. Don't worry about it. Just go subscribe to my channel. I have a new video right now that you could be watching. You could be watching that right now, right? I mean, instead of watching this and maybe supporting me on Patreon as well. I don't know. I mean, just saying.
Elders are our friends.
It will be hilarious. It will be a hilarious prank for Jake. Let's prank Jake by you going all to like subscribe and support me on Patreon. It would be hilarious. A hilarious
We
prank.
use the elders or even other mature friends to help us support or overcome any negative feelings that we're having. In fact, let's note an example of a true friend. Please observe two sisters, Stephanie and Asia. They're working together in the ministry. Notice how Stephanie reassures her friend Asia, who's struggling to move forward after a mistake.
That could have gone better.
She raised a very sensitive issue, and you handled it well. I know she wasn't interested, but she seemed to understand the Bible's answer.
Well, thanks. You always find the positive.
Asia, you handled that situation like a pioneer. Are you thinking of starting again?
Jesus Christ. Who says that? Who says, oh, you handled that like a pioneer? Have I been outside of the Jehovah's Witnesses for a little bit too long? I don't know. Like, is that what's going on? Also, if you guys are just tuning in, Jake's mouse is not working, so he can't click on anything. So he can't click to like come back. So I'm assuming he's getting a new mouse, or this is just my live stream. So subscribe to this one, I guess. If this is my live stream, you can subscribe to this, but to my channel first. My channel first.
No, not really. I don't know if I'm ready yet.
Why? Is it your schedule?
No, it's not my schedule. Honestly, with the difficulties I've had in my past, I disappointed Jehovah and so many people on top of it. I don't know if it's the right time.
Are Asia's feelings justified? Let's see how Stephanie encourages her after saying a brief silent prayer.
So you need to say a brief silent prayer, just like we all did, for Jake to come back. And look at him. He's back. Can you
Back, baby.
Wow, but with a very bad microphone. Did you connect the other microphone? Let's keep
How about this? How about that?
Jesus. That is that I think that's better. Is that better, guys?
I'm
Say
using
more,
now. Okay, I'm talking
happened?
now.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened is StreamYard is absolute dog shit, and it's time to take a stance. Might have to shift.
Honestly, like I'm only using StreamYard because it's the easiest one, but it's also the worst one.
It's kind of the worst one. I think I'm gonna have to change by next. If people are saying it's too loud. Well,
yeah, it's a
you're
little
too
bit loud.
I don't control this. Hang on a second.
Let's keep playing while you mess with it.
Yeah.
In the past, I too made a mistake, and I needed help from the elders.
Really?
Yeah. It was in my teens, and it took time for me to recover fully. For a while, my spiritual progress was a real struggle.
Steph, I can't picture you making any mistakes.
You know, what really helped me to move forward? I had a friend, and
How's
she
that?
encouraged me to meditate on the Psalms.
Or is that a little
She
better?
said,
Okay.
As you study it,
Yeah,
try
I
to
think that's
adjust
good.
your viewpoint to match Jehovah's view of us when we make mistakes. There was one psalm in particular that really helped me to start feeling relief from all the guilt that I was feeling. Psalm 130, yes.
See, this is what I'm talking about. The Jehovah's Witnesses just straying away from the Bible, straying away from pseudo-intellectualism, straying away from pretending everything they believe is in the Bible. This woman, what got her through her disfellowshipping or whatever like discipline she had was a song. She's gonna quote a song now. What is this called? Like, Jake, come on. What is really? Think back to like when we were growing up. Can you imagine a presentation quoting a song from like the songbook as something that they found like inspiring? Like it's just I can't think of that happening in my version of the religion. Really?
I can because I remember talks where there was one guy who sang from the stage and was never allowed to give a talk again. He's like, it's like our song from the songbook, and he literally sang it. And the convention overseer was like, never let that man give a talk again. But people did quote the lyrics. I think it would be weird to see it in something like this, where you would think it would be a scripture. But I have no idea what's going on, and I just didn't want to derail the show any further. I don't know what
And
they're
also,
talking about.
this is scripted. Like this whole thing
Right.
is scripted. Like it's not
right.
like
Yeah.
this is scripted all the way from Bethel. Like this is what they came up with. You know, this is a presentation that's written, and they have
People
to
are
rehearse
saying
it and give it like
psalms,
this.
by the way. Like, you're saying the word song, but they're saying psalms. And I don't know who's right because I wasn't listening to it because I'm bad at my job.
130.
Maybe I'm totally wrong.
Verses 2 through 4. Can you read that?
Oh, see, you see, I was totally wrong. It wasn't a song. I'm pretty sure they quote a song later, though.
Please.
Okay. It said, "O Jehovah, hear my voice. May your ear."
See, this is why I can't be in charge of your live stream. Okay, I just do right things. Like this is why I can't.
Now
can't
you're
do this.
loud.
You need me. I mean, I need you to not derail all of this. There you go. Is this better? I made it a little bit less loud. I don't know what I'm doing.
Now, I think Joey's got a point, which is that psalms are songs, technically.
There you go. Exactly. So technically, I am still correct. Let's just keep playing.
Yeah, Danny, shut up. You're too loud.
Just
Stop
pay
yelling at
attention to
everyone.
my pleas for help. If errors were what you watch, O Jah, then who, O Jehovah, could stand? For with you there is true forgiveness, so that you may be held in awe.
Did you notice what kind of forgiveness comes from Jehovah?
Yeah, it says true
Yeah,
forgiveness.
did you notice that?
And
It
if
was
he doesn't
subtle.
dwell in our mistakes, would he want us to do that?
No,
Yes.
I guess he wouldn't.
Yeah. I had to learn.
I have a problem with this. This like really drove me insane as a witness. I turned down your mic volume a little bit because it let me do it. So see if
Yeah, good.
Shout, let us know. Okay. I had a real, a hard time with this concept of the fact that Jehovah, he's forgiving. When he forgives you, he really forgives you. But also, you're supposed to be constantly examining every little thing you do to see if it lives up to Jehovah's standards. And, you are supposed to feel bad and feel guilty if you don't live up to that standard. So, I don't know. I just never really believed that I was forgiven because I felt like I was getting mixed information. Is it enough to pray to Jehovah and know that you've been forgiven spiritually, or is it that you literally have to go through the process of talking to the elders? They kind of go back and forth on that. I just really didn't want to talk to the elders.
Yeah, I think the narrative is that if you've done something that is wrong, like the gross things, then you need to go to the elders. And also, if you haven't done one of those things, but you feel too guilty about it, then you should, go to the elders just to be safe. I think that is how Jehovah's Witnesses do it, right? That's just the way that you handle sins.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So,
okay.
yeah.
I forgot that I was in control of this thing. I was like, all right, play the next one. I was like, wait,
It's your
it's me.
life.
Jehovah's forgiveness and the ransom in a much more personal way. Asia, Jehovah wants us to enjoy serving him and not to dwell on the fact that we're imperfect.
Yeah.
But we are going to mention it 90 million times a week.
Maybe I need to do more to build my trust in Jehovah's forgiveness, his true forgiveness. I think this could be my next study project.
If you're the one that's struggling, please reach out to mature ones that have Jehovah's thinking on matters.
A brother named Sam is tempted to get in.
A brother named Sam!
Yeah, this guy speaks very weirdly. He has.
Sounds like a
he
drill
doesn't-
sergeant.
He doesn't have the oddest voice, but he has a very weird delivery.
Yeah, he kind of gives me drill sergeant vibes.
Yes.
Major pain. Not the sister's fault, but that skit was cringe. I agree. It was better than the soliloquy, I think. From what I saw.
As Sarah Thomas is saying, no reach out to a therapist. You reach out to Psalms. Yeah, I mean that was basically the what you learn out of that pseudo soliloquy or that presentation. So it's not really great, but yeah,
Yeah, okay, well, let's hear what the drill sergeant has to say.
On a lucrative pyramid scheme. Let's see how an elder named John assists him.
Whoa. Whoa. I need more context of this.
Thinking on matters.
A brother named Sam is tempted to get in on a lucrative pyramid scheme. Let's see how an elder named John assists him.
That's not usually how it's pitched, by the way. It's usually not pitched, hey, I got this great pyramid scheme for you. So I don't know how useful this analogy is going to be.
Well, no, but
this is fascinating.
The Jehovah's Witnesses are very vulnerable to pyramid schemes because that's almost their model. So they're susceptible to other pyramid schemes and
MLMs. Yeah,
to MLMs, exactly. Most MLMs have like had a hold with Jehovah's Witnesses at some point. So it's interesting that they're finally after like Herbalife has made a joke out of Jehovah's Witnesses, they're finally tackling it.
Yeah. It's like, no, but you're right though. Mormons and witnesses both have they make up a huge subset of the people who do like LuLaRoe and those MLM type things. And there's a really incredible podcast series, if you haven't heard it, called The Dream, which is about MLMs. And they talk about that, how they target religious people because they already kind of are ingrained with this magical thinking and this patriarchal structure where like the woman, she doesn't necessarily need like a full-time career. The idea of having this make your own hours job where she can kind of use this built-in church community makes a lot of sense. So it's really interesting to me that Watchtower is recognizing this and being like, hey, don't get caught up in that. And I have to think it's because they're like, hey, if you're going to be wasting a bunch of money, waste it on us. Don't use it on our pyramid scheme.
I was surprised that they didn't finish by, instead of doing this, my brother, why don't you donate that money to jw.org? I was surprised that they didn't do it, but I think that we're just a few years away until that is how this kind of presentation ends.
Man, people are still saying I'm too loud. Weird. All right, I turned myself down a little bit. Now let's figure out why he's about ready to like throw down with Captain America.
Hey John, I've got some great news.
What is it?
So remember how I told you I was looking for a job that would allow me to pioneer again, maybe even commute to Bethel, but still give me enough money to take care of my family? I think I found it.
Okay, and?
Well, I was introduced to
an
investment opportunity where all I have to do is put down a little bit of money, and then I invite some other investors to join me. And for everyone that joins, I get a little commission. So all I have to do is sit back and watch the money roll in. This has come at the right time.
Now, Sam seems to have good motives for wanting to join this program, but it's really a pyramid scheme. Let's listen to the advice that John gives him.
Sam, I'm so happy that you're making adjustments to do more for Jehovah. But I gotta be honest with you, another brother came to me with this same scenario. Can I share with you what I shared with him?
Yeah, of course.
Let's see if I can find it here.
John.
There's a good Bible verse for pyramid scheme.
July 22nd, 2004 issue of Awake.
Oh, interesting. He's not going to cite fucking like a study or a journalistic article written by a reporter.
But he may be quoting the Bible though. Like Awake may be a Bible book. I don't know. Clearly, I've been out of the Jehovah's Witness for too long.
The 2000.
Let's make sure that it's not from the Bible though.
That's true, but it's like a 2004 Awake, which is amazing because if I were to point out something cringy that they wrote in 2004, witnesses would be like, well, that's a long time ago. You can't go by that. But when it fits their narrative, they're like, this 2004 Awake article, which of course predates modern MLMs, is perfect food at the proper time.
Let's see. Could you read that paragraph there?
Who holds their phone like that?
It says, pyramid schemes always collapse because it is impossible to keep on recruiting new members. Consider the math. If 5 people launch a pyramid and each one recruits 5 more, the number of new recruits becomes 25. If they in turn each recruit 5, that would mean 125 more. When recruitment reaches the 9th level, there will be close to 2
They didn't
million
stop
people
the
who have to
Awakes. They
recruit
still
more
make
than-
it. They just only print 1 or 2 every year or 2. They try and make like evergreen articles from each magazine now. And so they don't release them monthly. They just release them whenever, but the Awake still exists, I believe.
There's just like a couple of them released to the public per year, or if any, it's not.
I think maybe
it's not
like
bi-weekly, bi-monthly, like it used to be.
Yes, and so I love this. It's like he's reading a scripture. The setup is like all of their scripture demonstrations, but let me show you this old Awake article about pyramid schemes.
9 million others. Promoters of pyramid schemes well know that there is a saturation point.
They
When
well
they
know.
suspect that point is near, they take the money and run.
Yeah, it
I
goes on
thought
to say in
scheme
the
meant it was
article,
good.
For you to make money in a pyramid scheme, someone else has to lose money. If an offer appears too good to be true,
What?
it usually is.
What?
Jehovah's Witnesses much?
That's why it says it usually is with Jehovah's
Usually.
Witnesses. It isn't. Usually, Jake. See, like you just don't read. You apostates don't read the Awake. That's why they're apostates.
There's a talk I remember talking about on the channel, but I don't remember what talk it was, where somebody starts their talk like this, like, have you ever heard this before? If something's good to be true, it probably is. And that is true of everything except for Jehovah's Witnesses. It's like, you idiot, why would you say that?
Said it out loud.
Amazing. They have so little self-awareness.
Thought of that.
You know, I'm so glad that we got a chance to talk. I've realized that over the years, those that have got involved in some of these schemes have suffered financial loss, and still others took quite a bit of time to recover their reputation.
Wow. Thank you for sharing this with me. I
Their
certainly wouldn't want to damage
reputation.
my reputation
Yeah.
or others, and I didn't want to get them involved in something that could bring them financial ruin either. You know, I'm
It's
glad I
all about
talked to you
appearances.
before I went down this path.
Yeah,
I'm glad
they
we
ruin their
chatted too.
reputation.
Res-
That's very
Yeah,
interesting.
That is the biggest thing. The biggest thing is you don't want to do this because you will no longer be a good standing Jehovah's Witness for a while. If you do this, it was going to ruin your reputation for a while. And reputation is extremely hard to build up again when you're a Jehovah's Witness. Like that is,
Yes.
it's not like, in real world where, you make a mistake and then people, they berate you or whatever, but then they move on. No, like in Jehovah's Witnesses world, you are defined by your mistakes.
Exactly.
Especially
Like people
public
are
ones
gonna
like these ones.
people are gonna gossip about your ass for years if you do this. Like that's
That's
what
the
it
first
is.
thing that everybody else is going to learn about you.
Yeah, he really was. It did not take a lot of convincing 1.5 paragraph from a 2004 Awake, and he's like, oh shit, it's a peer. What the strangest thing about this is everybody in the scenario seems to understand that it was a pyramid scheme, even the guy who was joining it. He's like, oh, I didn't know that pyramid schemes were bad things. It's like, what? Obviously, It's like he didn't know that it was a pyramid scheme. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done it. Oh my god.
Yeah, he was like, I thought pyramid schemes were good because I had never learned this about this magazine from 20 years ago. It pains me to think that like the early 2000s was 20 years ago. Let's please.
Oh, I know. It's rough.
Because it's just, you said old magazine, and I'm like, what are you talking about? This is from like 2000, from the year 2000. This is like barely like less than 10 years ago. Like a little bit over 10. Oh no! Like that was my thought process, and it just ruined my day.
And it really is like because somebody referenced the pyramid scheme thing from the Office, and that show started airing in 2004, I believe, 2004 or 2005, and there was another resurgence of MLMs around that time. Obviously, like is that the Bernie Madoff scandal around that time? Probably. So
the
that's funny.
resurrection in your mind's eye right now. See yourself
In your mind's
walking
eye.
through the end of this system of things. Watch Jesus and the resurrected or anointed come to your rescue during Armageddon. See the
That I wanted to include this because this is the last talk.
I've got this picture.
And this is the circuit overseer, the guy that we've been making fun of. This is a circuit overseer. That's why he's giving the first and the last talk. That's what we've been seeing all along. This is
Right.
circuit overseers are basically your governing body replacements when you don't have governing body. Like, you give them like all of the talks, right? And this is how you remain indoctrinated by picturing yourself in paradise. But now you also have to picture like Stephen Lett coming to your rescue in a fucking horse, heavenly horse, during Armageddon. You also have to picture that bit. And I don't think that's, as attractive as just thinking that you're painting in a waterfall in paradise, which is what we used to think of,
It's not cute.
You didn't need to add Stephen Lett to it.
That's right. Damn it. I have that. I was trying to find the picture of Jesus riding in because I have it downloaded somewhere, but I can't quite find it. But yes, that is an incredible image. A horse.
Let's play while you
go for it.
Holy angels battle with the demons of this world, with the soldiers of men who dare to stand up to the Holy One of God. And then see the earth completely cleansed, quickly. See evil completely eradicated. See yourself healed of all of your maladies. That means all your pain.
Maladies.
All of your sins washed away. All of your regrets forgotten. Now you are healed in mind, body, and spirit. And you are settled in your new home, and now it's time for the resurrection. Imagine your dead loved ones brought to you. You can barely contain yourself. They're young again. They're perfect. They're without any blemish.
It sounds so creepy the way he's saying
Someone
it.
like Abraham, Job, and Daniel.
Think about how
They're
young they are.
young. They're hot.
They're hotter than
Their asses
ever.
are so firm. It just all right, man. But like, I love that. This is the archetypical end of an assembly speech that is just like this, making you feel good speech about your beliefs. You know, like focus on the positive, so you leave out of this fully indoctrinated.
This title of this article from JW.org is so funny. Jehovah's patience has limits. Jehovah's patience has limits. I have like a meme downloaded on my phone from like VeggieTales that says like God's love has limits or something. I'm gonna have to steal this one. It's pretty good. Okay, anyway, that's all. But this is what he's talking about, is literally Jesus and the governing body. That's who this is behind Jesus. This is the governing body with their swords and their horses rolling in. Yeah. That's what you can look forward to.
I hate this new edition. Like, this is the new thing that the governing body has done. And instead of adding like a new Armageddon date or something,
yeah.
Instead of adding a new Armageddon date or something interesting, like maybe a new prohibition, maybe new light on coffee. Coffee's actually bad because caffeine is
a new prohibition.
I don't know, something like that. No. The new thing in this religion is that the governing body, the guys ruling it, they're actually gonna be like front and center. They're gonna be saving you. You have to picture that. Like that's the new thing in this religion. It's so boring. That's why people are living like at least mentally checking out. I don't think a lot of people are like as engaged as people used to be in this religion mentally, even if they believe in the narrative.
Now what does this mean? I met the VeggieTales guy. The cucumber or the tomato? Because I think it's debatable which one of those is the main VeggieTales guy. I'm kidding. I just wanted to make a joke. Okay, let's get back to this.
And you pictured their smiles, their joy radiating, their tears when they realized that all of their hopes and their dreams all came true after sleeping for thousands of years. They have awakened. Now imagine your joy when you welcome all of them back. Can you see it, friends? Can you see it?
Can you feel it now, Mr. Krabs?
Are you there? Can you see it? When we do, we can remain confident in our Heavenly Father, Jehovah, for His reward is near.
And that's it.
That's it. We did it.
Wasn't this the most average assembly ever?
It was.
But it's worse because as I explained, like just the governing body extra bit, it just makes everything far more boring. You know?
Yeah, I know.
I want to picture these old dudes just coming to the rescue. Like, I don't want them to be my Avengers, you know? Like,
yeah, that's not inspiring, is it?
Yeah, like what? Like that guy is supposed to be my Spider-Man, who's gonna save me. No, get the fuck out of here! No, come on.
Well, I think, like there's not to get political, but there's like a lot of commentators like, well, enthusiasm for the U.S. election is at an all-time low, and it's like, yeah, because it's not inspiring that these are the guys, and it's like, it's not exciting to think that like Stephen Lett and David Splane are going to be saving your life from heaven. Like, you want a picture like a Tony Stark or a Captain America. You don't want it to be the old pale guys.
At least with Jesus, you can picture him like as handsome as Ben Buff and and Avengers like as you want to, like even in Jehovah's Witness publications, Jesus, like he was like, no, he's perfect. So he was, let me tell you, he had a really good looking body. Like that's what you want, like the human nature of things, like you want someone hot. Yeah, you want someone hot to save you. Even if it's Jesus, you want him to be hot though. You don't want like fucking Samuel Hurd just being like, hey, no, it's my time. Like what?
That's
right.
No,
you don't want that.
Are you ready? I think this is exactly right. Like, that's why I've almost found it interesting is, like somebody else said, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Like, that is exactly, Pelletized said that. Like, as much as, like, we spent the first little bit of this talking about these supposed changes, that they're softening a little bit, soft-knockering a little bit, and then there's this stuff, which is just exactly the same as it's been my entire life. Basically, nothing about it is different at all. And I think that's valuable, because it's easy to overstate the degree to which the group is changing, and I don't think it is that much when you really get down to the nitty, and I'll say it, the gritty. That's all we have for you folks.
Yeah, honestly, the Jehovah's Witnesses have changed a lot, but I feel like the core basis of it hasn't, because at the core, if you really dig into it, the core is just the cult narrative, and the cult narrative cannot change, because if the cult narrative changes, then it stops being a cult, and it has never done that. It has only moved into being more of a cult. So yeah, the core will never change. I feel like that's what I learned when I went to the memorial, after not going to meetings or anything forever, and going to like this thing that I remember being like the most special day, and being like, oh my god, this is boring. Like it's so like the same level of boredom just washed over me. Like it was weird. Like I recognized the boredom that I hadn't had in all of these years, it was weird. Like, oh, this boredom, I knew this boredom. I hadn't felt this in forever. That's how it felt being in the memorial. So yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses are the same. They just become more boring.
I can't tell if this is a bit, but I don't think we have any clips of them reading the financial report.
No, I didn't. They cut the announcements out.
I was about to say, they probably would have cut it from, because this is like from JW's stream, so they're not including all of it. Like, they don't include the prayer, I don't think.
We don't have the announcements and stuff.
My favorite's the prayer. Love hearing people express their hearts to God. It's beautiful.
Why do Jehovah's Witnesses always remove the prayer? Like, have you noticed how they never depict the prayer? Why is that?
I have noticed that.
Thing.
That's legitimately, and I'm not bullshitting it, but that is like, I want to do a series of little, like, short videos, like actual really short videos on weird, like, Jehovah's Witness nitpicks, like nitpicks that Jehovah's Witnesses have, and that is one of them. Another one that I was thinking about earlier today, I think I'm going to make a little video about it, is their insistence on the fact that the original, like, the fruit in the Garden of Eden was not an apple, because it's traditionally depicted as an apple, but the Bible just says fruit, so they're always like, maybe it's a pear, maybe it's some funky fruit that we don't even have anymore with all these little lumps on it, it's
spikes or whatever.
But it's never an apple, and I like the little persnickety things. What was the thing you were saying? I immediately forgot because of my brain.
I don't remember, but I do remember that the Trinity, the way that they debunked the Trinity was also like a huge thing that they always did. They were like, look, if Jehovah was a Trinity, the word Trinity would appear in the Bible at least once.
Oh yeah.
That was, but I don't know if that's, and that's probably like going away, because they don't really care what the Bible says anymore. So
they're like,
that's not relevant anymore.
They're standing on thin ice there, because the governing body is only in the Bible because they kind of put it there in their translation. But yes. Okay, well, Danny, this has been lovely, sir. What a good time this has been.
We kept it brisky. I feel like is that the word? We kept it brief. And
no, but it felt like a word in the moment. It's like you combined brisk and frisky, and I like that.
Exactly. That's how we keep it all the time.
We did keep it brisky. I love that. Well, I am going to ramble about some plugs, I think, for a minute, but you plug your channel first.
Sure, you can.
Motherfucker.
I mean, I already did that when you were out, but yeah.
Oh, well, then fuck you.
If you haven't done that,
Okay.
that is the main thing that I need to do. But yeah, I mean, I'm exJW Caleb. I have a tiny channel. If you want to go subscribe, you can go subscribe. It's I make videos that are I overthink of shit, and then I make videos, and then I get too lazy editing, and then they just become like very dense and hard to watch. So if that's your cup of tea, go ahead. That's very.
They're watching this shit. That's what this channel's all about. And then, no, that's exactly right.
Everybody in chat, like I recognize from my comments. So you know,
I know.
This is like everybody's already like everybody who would have subscribed is already subscribed. So.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Like, I appreciate seeing the same folks, you know, appear over here. Like,
I am tempted to try and do a 24-hour stream sometime. I think I have to get to a point where I can guarantee that there will be people watching for all 24 hours, because as soon as there's a moment where there's only where there's 0 people watching, that's a real test of will and courage.
I think you can just put out a program so people know when to like jump in.
A program. Yes, of course. Like the witnesses do.
And exactly. Like, hey, this is the assembly of 20-hour stream. And you know, people that way, if people want to jump into like an interview or like you playing a game or whatever, like people do that. So I mean,
yeah,
because
that's a good idea.
I'm not gonna tune in for the 24 hours. Let me tell you, like,
no, nobody tunes in.
I'm already like, how can I make this like very?
You're reminding me,
you know,
of the guy from the assembly who was like, "Hey, like that's your energy right now."
I'm telling you that's why I was making fun of him, because I'm like, that's me. Like, and there's no one as ridiculous as me. So let me make fun of that guy.
All right. Thank you for being on and joining me for 2 weeks in a row. I really appreciate it. It was super fun. I think that we managed to
I was
make...
hoping to get more subscribers, but that totally failed. But you know, I'm happy to join anyway.
Didn't work for me either. If that's any consolation, I didn't get any subscribers.
No, really, I'm happy to join you for any live stream. I'm just it's just fun, and I love chatting with your chat. So you know. Everybody's so.
We got good people. We have many fine people on all sides. Yes. I don't know why I referenced that. All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate your contributions to society, and may God be with you in your journey. Salute. All right, now that he's gone, I have some things to say about this motherfucker. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, this was. Yes, I know. We have the same audience. That's exactly it. I think 24-hour streams are cool. My dream's always been to do like one of those like streams where you run through all the Mario games or all the Zelda games for charity. I always think those are so cool. I always love games done quick, summer games done quick, and all the speedrunning events. But I'm not a speedrunner. But also H-Bomber Guy did the slow runner thing already, so I just got to figure it out. But anyway, this has been very fun. If you are not aware, it is Try Month on the channel. That is a thing that I stole from Hollywood Handbook. They do a thing called Try Month. I was like, that's a good idea. It's a month where they actually put effort into the show. Now, for them, that translates to like getting big celebrity guests on their podcast. That's not really an option here. Every slightly famous person that I've ever asked to be on the show, and I'm not talking about actual famous, I'm talking about, you know, like atheist YouTubers. Literally nobody has ever said yes to being on this show. So that's not an option, but I can upload more videos than usual. So I've uploaded a few videos already this month. There's going to be a new one coming out tomorrow, and it's really good. So check it out. I do want to do a gaming stream. but I've got this Mac. I already can't get my camera to consistently work the entire time, so I just need some I need some troubleshooting and help with my life. And I also just don't know if I can really stream on my Mac too much. I think what I might be able to do is run one of those Ocarina of Time randomizers. I've always wanted to try one of those. But if I could figure out a fucking way to stream Tears of the Kingdom or something, oh, that'd be so fun. Yeah, try month. I try to make good videos. I actually try and grow the channel. You're right, I didn't really complete my thought there. Get White Evans on. Yeah, that would be quite a get. I mean, he's got my email. So yeah, I'm going to try and at least put out a new video every Monday, but I'm just going to try and release new videos as much as I possibly can. And that has resulted in like 2 or 3 videos so far. And the last one I released, I think, turned out really well. I'm really happy about it. The kind of like edited montage I made of the governing body, I wanted to make something that was just like, was able to tell the story of why witnesses are a cult, but without me talking. So just using their own stuff, and I think it worked. What? Who's Mama? Not the Mama? So yes, I'm trying to do that because, you know, I get a little jealous sometimes of the fact that I've been doing this for a while and people will come along and immediately obliterate my subscriber count. It feels bad. You know, it's not supposed to. It's like vain to think about. But especially when I feel like maybe people are lifting a little something for me, makes me a little upset when it's like, oh shit, it's the most popular in the exJW space. I'm like, okay, I can't help the part of me that's a petty little boy, and I think that it is valid to be petty. So that's kind of what I'm doing, and I'm also just like, I'll be honest, with Not a Cult, the book, everything is, I would say, still on track. Is the book, Not a Cult. Everything's still on track, but I fucking hate the ending now that I have, and so I'm trying to figure out a different ending or how to make the one I have better. So I got a little bit of writer's block, and I figured, well, I'll just really, you know, focus on videos. Yeah. Exactly. And see, here's the thing. I know that, I know that it's niche, but selfishly, I'm like, but it shouldn't matter. People should like my videos because they're good. But here's the thing, is they're actually not very good a lot of the times. I just kind of put out whatever I want, and that's just what I like. That's what I like. I like just, and like all the YouTube channels that I like kind of do that. They just upload whatever they want. I don't believe in chasing the algorithm, really. And I don't believe in just trying to get clicks for the sake of it. Like, I always want to believe in the thing that I'm doing. But that's hard. So I'm trying to figure out a balance between, I want to just make the stuff that I want, but I do, you know, frankly, I want to be able to just create shit all for my job, and I don't think that's gonna happen with this channel. But it's also, that makes sense because it is a niche subject, and this is kind of like a personal, like I talk about personal stuff. It's exJW. It's like a very small corner of like one religion. So I want to try and grow this channel, but I also just want to try making new stuff, new video stuff. Storytime stream with guests, something like the Moth. That's a really fun idea. So we're gonna have on some artists. You see Witness Underground in the chat and exchange emails. I'm very bad about I'm very bad at communicating in general. And, you know, I've got this kind of ADHD, make it up as you go along situation in my life, and like with my brain. So I'm just not good at like booking guests, but I do want to do this. I want to have like exJW authors and artists and stuff. So that is sort of a plan. And yeah, I also just haven't really made a huge effort to do that before. I think I'm just in this space where I'm like, I like doing... Sorry, yeah, the stream is just the end part where I ramble about myself and my feelings and shit. But it is on. So yeah, okay, somebody said if the ending's not right, it's not the one. I know. I thought that I really had the ending. I thought, but it's just one of those things where you try it, and it kind of was like, oh, I think this isn't it. I think this isn't it. So I'm trying to figure that out. No, it's true. Like, it's that. Like, here's the thing. Like, YouTube, I know that what I do, it would probably be a little bold to call it art, but I still, like, I view it like that. I view it from that, like, standpoint of a kid who wanted to be an artist and liked to draw and, like, write and just wanted to be like that. I wanted to just put out kind of shit that I make, and it's a long game to do that, but just hopefully people, you know, slowly accumulate and care. And I've got a fucking amazing audience, and I always love everybody that's in chat, but I just want to, you know, broaden out. Oh, absolutely. And this, I do have another collab with Shalise. I texted her probably like a month or two ago about when Not a Cult comes out, like plugging the book and like doing an interview about that, and she was totally up for it. So ask Christina to stroke your foot. Maybe I'll get some new ideas. Holy shit, Shulamite Faden, thank you so much for the $100 super chat. That's fucking amazing. I appreciate it. Yeah, it is performance art. Like, here's my thing with YouTube as a platform, right? Like, what Shalise does is amazing because she's a great interview and she likes to do that and she's good at it. And like, when we traded videos, which by the way, I'm gonna be on exJW MJ's channel on Tuesday. I'm going to be on a stream of his. I think we're going to talk about a particularly culty watchtower that's coming up. And so that's kind of what you do. You trade, you know, guest appearances with people. She sent me this incredible outline that she had. It was so incredibly professional, everything. Like, everything was planned out. She had, like, questions. She had segments. She gave me all the details. And I just... You know, my email was just like, hey, I don't know. I think we're just going to talk about this. And, like, that's the difference. And so I think I've just learned after initially, obviously, just doing this to stay sane while I was PMO, and then thinking, like, I don't know, should I just cover... I like doing it. I always wanted to do YouTube, even when I was a witness. I was like, well, I'll just try and do what Lloyd does and just kind of cover everything. I don't really like it. And now, you know, I'm, like... There are channels who I don't think I know this is like pretentious to talk about, but this is the pretentious corner. Not everybody knows about the pretentious part of the Sunday service stream, because not everybody watches the last half hour where I just rant about whatever insane ADHD stuff is going on in my brain. What the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, so like there's stuff that like there's things that I do on this channel that I've noticed other channels start to do, and it makes me not want to do them anymore. You know, like it's like when I started, obviously nothing about my channel was really original at all. I was just doing what like Sean and Jose, which are two kind of like lefty YouTubers who make more informational stuff. They just had that static background, and I liked that. It felt like a good fit for a PMO. But then I also liked kind of like lo-fi video or just like N64 video game music. That's something I just kind of grab from another channel's ideas, and I like YouTube poops, so I, you know, liked messing around with that. And now I've seen other channels do that, and it makes me want to do it less. So now I don't do the video game music because it feels like, well, okay, now that's become a thing. A little bit culty. Is that the... Oh, that's the Sarah Edmondson and Nippy. Listen, they've had an ex-witness on their show who wrote me and was very nice. I think it's the now of course I can't remember his name. He's a voice actor. He's successful. They had him on the show. I was like, hey, put in a good word for me. I don't get. This is not like a complaint necessarily, but it's just true. Like, I don't get invited to do stuff like that. I would love to invite myself onto their podcasts, but I don't get. It doesn't happen. Because I'm not big. You know, if I had 50,000 subscribers, like Panda had, I could probably do that. I could probably get a bigger guest on the channel. But if you email somebody who, like, actually has a platform, somebody who is successful, and they have, like, 100,000 subscribers or more, they don't want to come on some little channel from somebody that they've never heard of, and like what do I even say to them to describe what the channel is? Somebody was like, maybe Christina can be your producer and prep questions like that, which would be amazing, but I think she's just busy doing what she's doing. She's got school and work, and I don't want to put that on her, even though I think she would love it. It's true. I'm trying to say, without saying, that I feel that Ron Pomo totally ripped me off. Totally kidding. Oh, shit. I didn't realize that you went on there. That's awesome. This is the thing, though. Like, I love them. I love Sarah Edmondson and Nippy. She just gave a TED Talk, didn't she? Or was that another person? Houseboat address? I don't know what that means. Is that like a porn star name, or it's like the street you grew up on or something? So anyway, that's why I want to grow the channel. I don't think the numbers are that important to, like, me, but they are important. Like, if I want to get cool people to talk to, which I think would be fun, you have to give them a reason why they'd want to come on your platform, and so far nobody really does. I don't know. I also, no, I was about to get cringy and just start talking about all my fucking insecurities. And I know that that's what I was already doing, but, okay, listen. I do this. I shoot my shot all the time. Nobody is interested in the shot that I have. I've messaged every atheist YouTuber that you like. They're not interested. I've messaged the podcast that you're talking about, interested in doing content with your viewers. Well, Simply Lore, that's exactly what I do in the last stream of every month. Whatchamacallit, the patron streams, the back room, that's what I call them. I actually haven't messaged him, but some people I don't know how to get a hold of. Like, Aaron Raw is cool. He's a mysterious person. I don't know how to get a hold of him. Sometimes, like, the only way I know how to get a hold of people is they have a Patreon. I'm like, I don't want to just sign up for somebody's Patreon just to message them, because that feels weird. Anyway. So, that was fucking cringe. This is why this is no longer staying on the main channel. But anyway, that's why Tri-Month exists. I want the channel to at least appear professional. Love Eve was framed. I was loving, I love watching all those, like, atheist colleges. That's, like, my favorite guilty pleasure stuff, is atheist colleges. I don't think that I would be very good at it, because I think my brain is too scattered. I don't think I'd be able to really focus on somebody's arguments. But hey, it'd be nice to be asked. Like that soliloquy we were watching earlier. Nice to be invited. Yeah, these are the kinds of, I understand. I understand what you're saying. I know. Listen, sometimes you shoot your shot and it works out. So I've read in chat. It's not worked out for me ever once in my life, but I guess except when I asked Christina to marry me. But by that point, neither of us had any followers on social media. We knew each other in real life. I felt less sure about that. I know. That shit, I think that activates that part of my brain, or I'm like, I always assume that everybody hates me, you know? that's my default position, is that everybody secretly hates me and is always talking about how they don't like me. And so I'm always like, well, I think that part of the internet just hates me. Like, obviously the most likely explanation is that I just have never seen my channel and have no reason to know about it. But the thing that it goes on in my head is, oh, well, I'm not invited to go on the line and shit because people hate me. That's why. This is what YouTube does to your brain. This is your brain on YouTube. I know. And now I'm seeing the aw shit. This is why I know. Like, you were not a mover and shaker amongst the housewives and plumbers. I wasn't really. I mean, I've always just been a little bit more introverted than you might think, seeing me, like, on the stream. I like performing. I like doing entertaining stuff, but I like small groups, and it's hard for me to, like, hang out with people. So I didn't like to reach out and make plans, you know? Like, I had a really close friendship, and then and I just kind of stuck with that. Snarky but not hated. See, that would be a good shirt, almost. I'll say boo to balance out the odds. Maybe that should be part of the Try Month, is finally getting merch up and running. That's a good point. Elliot Larson, kind of deconstructing my brain. I mean, in the congregation, you're trained to think you're doing something wrong if people aren't trying to include you. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so that's the shit been going on in my brain. Like, I don't know. I go through eras of being really fucking depressed when things don't hit, because a lot of times it's like, man, I really kind of believed that one had potential to reach a wider audience, and it just fucking didn't. And then when I look around and see other channels making similar stuff, and they get hundreds of thousands of views, it's like, okay, so it's me. It's just like the channel's not good. But then it's like, I don't think it's true. Oh, I'm just complaining about my feelings and insecurities. I'm doing the thing at the end of the stream where I kind of like, I'm like sad and beg for compliments. Anyway, I think I was very fun out in Sur. I think I was a great car group companion. I think that would be, I know, it's so fucking true. Comparison is a thief of joy. I'm always thieving my joy. This is absolutely true. Alright, but that's what I was doing, as I'm complaining. But this is the part of my brain that I don't like. And sometimes I have to say stuff out loud to just kind of hear it. But honestly, like, a car group video, like, how would you do that? I think a good video idea would be, like, a governing body car group. Like, what's the best car group? What's the best situation if you're going to be on a car group with a governing body? I don't know. I feel like there's something there. I talked with Matt, not Falling Tower Matt, but a regular Pioneer Matt, a couple years ago about doing, like, a JW Cinematic Universe chat, and I never did get around to doing that, but I like how their little characters come up. We could do obviously Jade and Nita you would want in your car group because they're cute. And you want cute people in your car group, but who's fun? Like, who's keeping things chill? Who's like, we can go on a break whenever. Hell, we can go on as many breaks as we want. Let's go to this really far away return visit, so we're just kind of chilling and wasting time. Passenger Princess. I love that. Not sketches, like ranking, like figuring out, like, let's accumulate some data and figure out who's the best car group of the governing body or fictional characters. Tony Moore is absolutely grumpy driver. I feel like David Splain might want to drive. I don't know. I gotta think about this. Ranking. Ranking is like not even the right word. Alright, so, video tomorrow. I gotta release some Patreon exclusive stuff. So become a member. I've got some exclusive stuff on there. What? I think that's kind of it, right? I did all that complaining, but my video on the governing body that I liked is doing pretty well, so I'm excited about that. The lesson learned there was zero me at all. There's no me talking, not my face. People liked that, so we'll keep that in mind going forward. Abbott and Costello manning a card. That would be solid. That's not a bad... If we're going to do card group sketches, chaperone... No, I feel like it would be one of, like, the new governing... It'd be like Kenneth Cook. You know, one of these, like, new governing body members. Either making a YouTube channel, be a guest on someone else's YouTube channel and simulstream it. That's what I'm doing with the Sunday service, actually. All right, so that's the end of this. We talked about all the things, and I did my weird rant, just stream of conscious rambling, Harmontown style, at the end of the show. And thank you for watching, everyone. We'll be back next week with more bullshit.
First of all, we are lowering our standards. Our worship of Jehovah deserves full-length corrections. For example, do you remember the governing body comes over 200 times when we go to the Kingdom Hall or in the ministry?